Hey, it's Mr. Johns. Welcome back to this episode of Let's Do Some Art. I don't know. I change the name of it every time. So we're drawing a scene from the game Red Dead Redemption 2. This is the town of Valentine. In the last episode, we used our pencil to make a mess on the paper, apparently, but we used the perspective lines and we drew from the midpoint, which is right here. It doesn't have to be the middle of the paper, just kind of the focal point where you start the drawing. And from the top of that line, I drew down to the vanishing point over here on the left. And from the bottom of that line, same thing. I've since made some adjustments or additions. I added a porch, which that gives it another line, and that also goes to the vanishing point. So every line that's not vertical on the left side of this goes to that vanishing point. And there is another side of the building, and the top and bottom of that line goes to a vanishing point way over here somewhere. And a little bit hard to do that when you can't actually fit it on the paper. You just have to kind of imagine where it goes. And then we're going to have other buildings on this side of the street, and the top and the bottom of those lines go to a vanishing point right here. It's a pretty sharp angle. That's because of the view down this street. So spent some time penciling in some things in the first episode, and then offline I added the siding on the sheriff's office, also kind of some shingles on the top, and yes, found my erasers, sharpened my pencils. And so on the tops of the roof here, this would be shingles roughly, so they're just flaps of tar paper or material that'll work to waterproof the porch roof. And then we've got a wood support here underneath with 2x6s that hold up the porch, and then some longer wood that goes this way that actually is the porch or the boardwalk or the wooden sidewalk or whatever we want to call it. Over here they've added on a jail, and this is brick, so obviously so you can't cut or escape or get someone out. And then we have, now that I look at it, I think these lines are not correct. These are bars on the windows. So, and then sheriff, the lettering sheriff on the sides and the front, those are supposed to be in white, kind of a faded white. And so that's kind of tricky. I started just with stick lettering, and then I made it into more block lettering. And then I'm going to have to somehow make it either white or maybe a different color. So our step for this episode is to simply take our, and you can use any pen, any kind of small point pen. Sometimes I use a fine Sharpie even. And then what we're going to do is simply just color in, not color in, we're going to outline all the parts with pen. The nice thing is once we get this done, then we can erase. If we start erasing now, it erases a lot of the structure of the building, and that doesn't work. But once we start putting things in ink, it's definitely easier to erase once the ink dries. And so, we also added power poles. So power poles with some power lines, and the power, basically the power comes in from somewhere and then goes down to this building, and this one goes to this lamp. We're going to light up that area there, and then power lines continue down the street. And I'm not so sure, there's a power line that goes all the way across. I'm not so sure I'm going to do that top one. I think I like it better just with these single lines coming in. So I think first we will just start, and this is meant to be fairly rough. It's not architectural drawing. So, all right. Well, so that is how to line in with ink. And then next time we are going to, I don't know whether I'm going to go ahead and watercolor this or move on to the rest of the town. Probably going to move on to the rest of the town first. I don't think, I want to probably watercolor all at once. So while I have all the colors mixed up, perhaps I'll think about that. But if you want to, curious how this is going to turn out, come back later and check out video number 3. And we'll move on. So I'm having fun. Hope you are. And if you haven't drawn something like this, go do it. Give it a shot. Super fun. It's called Line and Wash. For now, Mr. Johns is out.